Hello, hello. Happy Friday, August 1st, 2025. How is everybody doing? It's Friday. Beautiful weather. Did I mention it's Friday? You're sitting there bored. You're glad there's a stream. All right. Well, here we are. I've been busy all morning. Actually, I slept in this morning since today is Lisa's day off. Happy Friday, Indy. Um, and I slept in a little bit. And so let me start out with the Brian rant, which is a continuation of yesterday. Um, Still struggling with trying to get Braintree set up because these people are. Um, I really don't want to use the term idiots, but they're idiots, and so I get on chat support with my provider, and I say, listen, can I have an account? I can still log in. Can I just add a new business, add a new EIN number, and get cooking that way? Because obviously I can't operate under the old. You slept through yesterday. I can't operate under the old EIN. That's, well, it doesn't exist. That's not cool. So, well, yeah, you can try it. So I get on chat and I ask the question, and they say, well, you're going to need to, since you already have an account, you need to call this number. They'll know where this is going. So they give me a phone number. I call that number. That number finally, they kick in and they say, oh, well, this is PayPal, not Braintree. I said, well, this is the number they gave me because they knew I was talking about Braintree. Well, that's not what you need. I said, well, what's the number I need? Well, there is no number. There's no phone number for their payment processing system. They have a number for their consumer level program, but not for their business level. Go to your dashboard, see if there's a contact us. Yep, there sure is. Well, what does it get you? I said, well, it gets me a web form. Well, there you go. That's what you get. You don't get a phone number. I tried another phone number. It hung up on me. Yeah. Yeah. So I thought, you know what? Fine. Submit the form. I see there's actually, because I figure I've got a merchant ID and then there's merchant account. So I figure under the merchant ID number, I can have multiple merchant accounts. And so I go in and I see there's a form for changing business name and changing entity. I'm like, great, this is awesome. I've got all my settings, for fraud and all that stuff is already set up. Fill out the W-9 EIN number, shoot it to them. They send me an email actually quite promptly back. And here's what we need. We need, because they wouldn't, the web form wouldn't allow me to submit a PDF, but I could submit a JPEG if I wanted to. So I had to submit a JPEG of a PDF, which is stupid. And then they send me an email back saying, okay, here, can you provide that in the PDF? Well, sure. Knock yourself out. Here it is. Send them the PDF. And 15 minutes later, an hour later, they send me an email back and they say, well, we can't do that. You have to go back to underwriting. But we'll get somebody from sales to contact you within 72 hours. Meanwhile, I've decided, you know what? The hell with this nonsense. The only reason I'm trying this hard is because there is a significant cost savings at a certain volume level, like over 0.5%. So I say, well, I need something. And apparently I can use PayPal and they'll act as a processor, but at again, another 0.5% above what the already 0.5% above is. So I mean, like literally almost a full point above. So well, I like a little more robust processor with some fraud protection, settings and things like that. And so my provider says, well, that's probably the best way to go. Just sign up with Stripe and get it done. And I go, okay, great. Let's set this up. within 2 hours. 2 hours. And that includes like an hour of reading documentation to try to configure things. I am completely set up for payment processing through Stripe. 2 hours. It's been over 2 weeks now with Braintree, and they can't even. It's nuts. So what that means is that this weekend and next week we can do some test transactions. It also means that with Stripe, if any of y'all ever use Stripe, they have a feature called Link, which actually seems pretty cool. And I know I've used it before because my web host uses Stripe and Link. Once you use it, if you go to checkout on any website that uses Stripe and Link, because you can use Stripe without having Link, what they do is they send you they text you a 6-digit code, and then it automatically fills in all your shipping information. Like, why don't I want that? You get it right once, you know it's you. I know it's you. We all know so yeah, so we got that set up this morning. I won't say it took a little long. It took a little longer than I expected, only because what I've seen happen before is documentation on how to set certain things up is never updated. So, and I kept going back in, and I'm like, it's not completely set up, and I couldn't figure out why. So I keep going back to the documentation, and I'm going through it. I've done this step, I've done this step, this step, this step, and there's one step I missed. I said, okay, well, go to their website, go to developers, go to webhooks, go to da 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 da, and none of it lines up, and it's very vague. It's like, go to these places and then enter this, and I'm like, that's not what it. And it took me a while. It probably took me half hour, 45 minutes to figure it out, because it wasn't in the same order as it was in the very vague descriptions. So I probably could have got it set up in an hour. And that includes going through like literally every setting and every area, trying to familiarize myself with the interface, which thank heavens is something out of the 2020s. Maybe I'll like it, maybe I won't. I have heard some negative things about it, but I'm sure y'all have probably used Stripe before, whether you know it or not. So if anybody has, and they have comments, good or bad, I sure would appreciate knowing. I mean, unfortunately, I don't really have much of a choice at this point. I think Braintree will kick in eventually. When they get their act together, but they don't have a phone number that works. I went back to one of their emails that says, okay, we've got your account under review. Need help? Here's a contact link, or call us. So I call the number, and it's like disconnects. It doesn't work, which is not the first number for Braintree that doesn't work. Like I can think of at least 3 that they have listed and published that don't work. Like, you guys don't update your stuff? Anyway, that's a Brian rant for today. What's on our agenda for today? So today, you beautiful people, we are going to we're going to finish up our PFMs that we did yesterday. So there's 9 of them. We were trying to solidify those snorkel tubes in place. We're going to reassemble. We're going to make sure that they go in and out the way they're supposed to. If they do, we're going to seal them up, and they are done. We're done with these 9. I have 3 more that need to be restored. 1 I'm waiting for parts on. 2 of them I have been soaking the nib sections on. We're going to see if we can get those open. If we can't get those open, they're going to go back in the water for the rest of the weekend. Then, because that won't take very long to get that far. Now, if we get them open, then we're just going to kind of continue. But even if we get both of them open, it won't take long to get them to a point where, we get the sacks on it and boom, we're good. Although it might take me longer to find the sacks because I reorganized my sacks the other day. Then we have a pen to ink up, which I'm kind of jumping the gun on it. I was going to save it, but it's been 8 months now that I've been saving this pen. So we're going to ink up a pen. And then if there's time left, which there should be, I do have a personal pen that I am thinking I might try opening today. It's a very, I won't say risky, but it's a very rare pen that I talked about at one point, and you all can tell me whether or not you remember the story or not. If you don't remember the story, I'll tell you the story. It's a cool story. It's a cool pen. And it would be kind of nice to get it in working order. I think I have it here. Yeah, I do have it. So, does that sound good? Good. Like you got any say in the matter. No, I don't want to do that. All right, what do we got here? What's your opinion on the Delta Coliseum? Let's look at it. Only because, I'm... Oops. I get to remember which one that is. Coliseum. Let's take a look. That's an old pen, if I'm not mistaken. Or is it a new one? Oh, that one. Well, now which one are we talking about? Are we talking about the orange version, the demonstrator version? The Diamond Celebration? The lever filler, is that the one? The orange one, the lever filler? Or is there a cartridge? I think there's a cartridge converter option on this one, isn't there? No, it's lever. Lever box. Oh, let's look. So what this is I mean, essentially it's a Dolce Vita with the lever. If this is the one you're talking about, I think there's room for a Delta, an orange Delta pen in just about anybody's modern collection. My initial thought is that the lever filler is going to be more trouble than it's worth down the line. And you're paying more for something that's really going to be, because I don't know how that section and the section nipple are situated. I know there are some, I don't remember if it was Delta. There are some pens where that putting that sack on were so ridiculously difficult. It boggled the mind that after nearly 100 years of, well, I guess not 100 years, but like 70 years, 80, 60, 70 years of making lever fillers in the pen industry, that people can't follow the same simple design that was being shelled out in the 20s. So if we're talking about the lever fill, if we're not, it basically looks like a Dolce Vita. Just get a Dolce Vita. get a, or Dolce Vita piston. It might be the better. Now, the piston's not available in the oversized. So if you want the oversized, then you gotta get the cartridge converter. But the piston or the Dolce Vita, I think is probably the safer bet for longevity, because the sacks are going to go bad for sure. And then you got to worry about taking that pen apart. And I'm not 100% sure. I mean, it could be fairly straightforward, but again, there was a modern pen that I recall, and it might have been Conway Stewart. That for whatever reason was stupidly designed that you really couldn't repair it. So that's my opinion. All right. Okay. Let's do this and let's get these done. I'm tired of looking at these things. And I want to ink up this pen. But it's going to be my treat for finishing this stuff. Oh, 1916. Is it an auction? No way to tell about? Yeah, it's probably. I mean, as they say, if the price is right, forget everything I just said. Beautiful. One down. Yeah, yeah. Anytime. I mean, the advice is worth what you paid for it, at least. I have been getting regular updates yesterday and today from our friend Hans, who is at the DC Pen Show. He tried to secure some pens for me, but we could not agree. Stellar and I didn't. We weren't on the same page as far as price was concerned. So, which is fine. I don't. I just bought 500 Esterbooks. I don't need 60 more. At the right price, I'll buy them all day. But what we got is good enough for 5 or 6 months of restoration. So, how was it at the show? Well, I mean, it seems I'm not getting super detailed information. What I'm getting is little snippets. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's Friday. Yeah, so today is the last day Hans is going to be at the show. And so I might be able to get more, more information tomorrow and Sunday, because he's going to be out spending time with family and not busy at the show. But he's not listening to me when I asked very nicely for him to send me. He mentioned a particular pen that he bought that is, I would put it in. Now I don't want to get down this don't down this slippery slope again, but um, it's kind of Grail territory for a Schaefer collector. Um, and he so, oh yeah, I got XYZ. And I said, send me pictures, send me pictures, send me pictures. No, no pictures. We'll get pictures, I'm sure, when he gets back. I wanted them now. I don't think that's too much to ask. All right, these are turning out real nice. Which is good. Because I'm starting to dream about these things. And that just means I've been doing too much. Too many of them. Beautiful. All right. So now that I've done that, I got to go back and open them all up again. Just going to get them ready. But outside of that, I have not heard anything. Not really paid much attention online. Haven't heard anything good or bad about the show. So I like how this one lines up with the chalk imprint. That's pretty sweet. Okay. Now we're going to heat up the room. Okay. And I'm going to go through it. I'm going to just double check each one of them when we're done. Make sure there's not any sealant on the outside of the barrel or anything like that. So we got to get these done because I've got that vacuumatic coming on Monday. The vice grip vacuumatic. I've got feelers out at the show for a filling unit for it, but you seem to require, obviously, the circumference of the section is bigger than a snorkel, so they're requiring a little bit more section sealant than I would normally put on a pen. Just because I said that, I put way too much on that one. Yeah, we'll go over them one more time with a little heat, and then that'll loosen anything up. And you definitely want to check whether you've got any stuff on there before you put the cap on, because then it's going to be a mess if you don't. Well, if you miss something. Getting down to the bottom of that bottle. It's getting hard to get in there with the toothpick. Only had it for 10 years. Should have put a date on it when I got it. Probably could figure it out. All right, 2 more. Last one. I like to thread it on and then back it off so I can get then heat it back up. See if you can get kind of an even distribution. Whenever possible, I try to put it as close to the end of the nib section as possible. All right. All right, that's good there. What are we going to use here? I'm going to use a fresh one here. And then I'm just going to wipe them down because with all the silicone grease, it's a little, sometimes you get it on the barrel, you get it everywhere. We just got kind of nice quick wipe down. Obviously the ones with the chalk marks we got to be careful on. No. This part I'm excited about. Don't do that. Yeah, it's a nice tray, that's for sure. It would take you a while to put this kind of collection together, that's for sure. And probably a little bit of money. $10. Can you imagine go back in time and I buy every one of these at $10? Everyone. I wish we could know what sales numbers were of these compared to say regular TM models. I suppose one could only imagine what they could have sold had they not decided to target it exclusively towards men. All right. gives us 3 left. But you just don't want to open. See if we can get this clutch ring off. I can't get it off, but I can slide it down. So maybe that will help. maybe it'll help because here's a little bit. I can see a little bit of adhesive on the outside of this clutch ring. All right, so that's it for those today. We'll let those sit in. All right. Side, beverage. Let's clean this off. Notepad. All right, part 2 of the program. Anybody have any guesses what's in this box? Oops, I probably just gave it away. For those that are astute, Glenn is the winner. So, I guess a little backstory on this before I tell you what it is, unless you guess it. When we closed up, there were a couple of pens that I was very interested in, not knowing what the future was going to hold, how I was going to feel in 6 months, whether or not I was going to get back into the industry. And so there was a short list at the store. And as things go, I usually wait and say, well, you know, if the pen I'm interested in is still here, it's, you know, by such and such a time, I'll take it. Well, as it usually happens, the pens sell. That's fine. This one I wanted, and we sold out. And I don't even remember what nib it is. I gotta look. We sold out, and at the end, I just ordered one. I said, "Do you have it in stock? Get it for me. I want it. It's for me." And so it came in, thankfully, and I've been sitting on it since then, since December. It's actually been sitting on my nightstand for 8 months. I haven't looked at it. I haven't so much as taken it out. But I think we're going to do it today. I was going to save it. Actually, I wasn't going to save it. Then I decided, you know what? I'll save it until we start up the new company. But everybody's at the pen show and everybody's getting pens, so you know. And I think we made a significant win today by actually installing a payment processor in less than 2 hours. So, so here it is. Well, nobody's guessing. The medium nib. This. Anybody recognize what brand it is by that? Yes, indeed. Another big question is what is it? Gotta slide it up so you can't see it. Man, that's great. No, it is not. It's a good guess, though. It's a good guess. It is. Take this out. A little sleeve for it. Is a Dialogue CC. You almost bought the all black stealth one. I just love this pen. It needs a little polish here. They all kind of get this way, where they'll get like a little band in there from sitting in the box. Yeah, I know. I'm taking the patina off. Taking patina after I use it. All right. I just love this blue. The blue is nice. You know, I like the imperial blue, but then with this rose gold trim. And I love how quickly it comes out. And this is a 14 karat medium. Um, so what I was thinking, is I might, and consider me blasphemous, but considering using a cartridge for this one. Or do I want to fill it with? No, we're not going to do that. That's dumb. It's not dumb, but I might need that cartridge for something else. And so if you've never seen one of these before, the pen comes with this cool little thing here. And so what this is, I'll show you this. There's your nib unit, and it's threaded. Now, the catch with the nib unit is you can't swap a nib unit from another Dialogue CC or another Dialogue into the pen. You have to, because they are the nibs and feeds are set so that they come out at the right angle. In other words, you could put another one in, and the threading might be such that it comes out sideways. So if you're going to swap nibs on these, you got to actually pull the nib and use the nib unit you got it with. So what this is for is if you're going to clean this, obviously without the nib in here, we can't operate the trapdoor. But you take this, and this screws on, and then you can open it up, and then now we can flush it through, use a Q-tip, whatever we want to do. Keep it nice and clean. Didn't quite get it. And you really have to kind of tighten it on there real tight, because when you unscrew it to close the trapdoor, you usually end up unscrewing this before you you end up not unscrewing that before you completely close the trapdoor. So that's really a cool feature. I know exactly what ink I'm, only because it happens to be right in front of me. And if Spicy Miso were here, he would probably yell at me because it's boring. Gentle Blue. And then it comes with its own little leather pouch, which is kind of cool. And there's a nice little ink view there. And this just pulls out. So if you want to put a cartridge in, you can. Permit me to be highly anal and try to get a little bit of that off. Tight. Wow, that is awesome. Oh my God. Really nice. It really sets really nice there. It positions in the hand quite nicely. Hello? You're coming to interrupt me? I'm inking a pen.
Ooh, what kind of four? So five. Wait,
What is it? 6 of 4? What is it? 7 of 9? 6 of 4?
six. Four. What do you- Hold on, think about it.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. Ooh, what are we playing with?
This is the Dialogue CC.
I know that. That's a nice pad.
I decided to finally ink it up.
Okay.
I was gonna save it for when we launched, but I guess today was a win.
Oh, Delta Coliseum. Which one do you have? You have the
Dolce Vita
oh,
Oro.
you used to.
Used to have the
Yeah.
Dolce Vita. Yeah.
Alright.
Oversized. I had the oversized
Yeah, you
for a
did.
while. The feed broke. It took me, what did it take me? 5 years to get the feed?
Yeah. Yeah. We've had some fun times. Alright, what are we doing?
So, we finished the first. Don't bump
won't
into that
touch
tray. Yeah.
it.
That's the first
I am the
9.
world's clumsiest person.
Those are the-
I will bump into something.
First 9 PFMs.
Okay.
The other 2 nib units still have not come apart, so
Oh, we're just gonna leave those.
we're gonna leave them soak.
Okay.
And I'm just playing around with this, and then I might take one of those big guys apart.
You banned somebody?
It's a
All right. You go.
it's a spammer.
Cool. All right.
6 of 4 for 30. 6
4
4 shells. How big are they?
Same exact size. It's a thought.
Oh, where you want to put that?
Can she stay?
She can stay. That's fine. She'll complain, but that's it. Anyway. Yeah, this is nice. It's a little bit girthy. It's got a little weight to it. The common complaint I usually hear about the Dialogue, sometimes more so on the Dialogue 3, is that they dry out. So we'll see how this rolls. Guess I have to use it then, don't I? I do have to make. What I do is, I have an A4 size notepad, and I write all the tasks that I have to do yet for the website, and before launch I've got on that list. And then what I do is when I get to about, like, half of the items on that list crossed off, half or more, I rip off the sheet and then I rewrite the list. The goal, of course, being to try to eliminate some of the items at the top of the list and not just the ones at the bottom, which are the more recent additions and maybe easier, because the ones on the top are clearly, they've been there for a while. So you found that to be a good ink for dry pens, the Sailor Gentle Blue. Yeah, let's see how it goes. So this will be good for, and it's time for me to boy, that's nice. I'm embarrassed to admit this is my first 14 karat gold Lamy nib. It's smooth, it glides, it's got a little bounce to it. I would not press hard on it. You don't need to press hard on it at all, but it just really, you can feel it. It's responsive. What a good nib. See, now if only I had this. This is what I used to do. I'd say, okay, well, if I want to sell more of these in the store, I need to have one as a tester. I need to try to polish that window there. That I get it under the Q-tip or something. Well, that's good. Now this, I've never been super keen on this case, but maybe after I use it, it stretches out a little bit. Or maybe it's supposed to go in the other way. Although I don't think that would be kind of dumb, wouldn't you? Definitely goes in easier. All right, well, we'll see. Oops. We'll see. Yes, we're just going to put this box. Now I can get rid of this box. I can put this box in whatever I do with all the rest of the boxes I have in my life. All right. See how this guy's writing. Is this guy still writing? Yeah, it's a good pen too. Hi, little kitty. What are you doing? We are being supervised. We are. Come here. Come here. I know, meow. If you haven't met her before, this is Seiko. She has one brown paw. She's a tortie. Um, we are thinking she's going to be the chief people officer of the new company. Sorry, I can't quite get her in the without because she talks. She talks a lot. Can you just sit there? Can you just sit there, little kitty? No, you're going to sit there and squirm. Yeah. Oh, well, yes. Okay. Well, you can sit there. She's she's not very like she wants to be all up in your business, but when you pick her up to put her in your business, she wants no part of being in your business. It's one of those. Hi, hi. She's a mama's girl for sure. Although every night before bed, every night now, when this has been going on for I don't know how many weeks, maybe a month, she will sit over next to me on my side of the bed as I watch TV at night. But she won't stay there. The minute I get up to pull the covers down to get into bed, she wants nothing to do with it. But she'll sit right next to me, won't you? Yes, I know. Very good, good. If your Uncle Mike Independence were here, we could have like little treats and stuff for you. Would you like that? I don't have any treats for you. I know, I know, I know. All right, well, maybe she's gonna stay here. I don't know. I don't really know what's gonna happen. This is quite unusual. Um, when we first found her, they took us in. They had little rooms you could, take the cat into. Hello, and she jumped in my lap immediately, and I was like, "Oh man, this is the cat," and never did it again. Never ever did it again. Want nothing to do with me. You want nothing to do with me, little girl? Yeah, nothing to do with me. We're gonna repair some pens though. You want to help with that? I bet you'd be a giant help. But trying to come up with, I think we're gonna include her as part of the company, the chief something officer. I don't really know what. You sure you don't? Because we've had Max on. We actually had stickers. A friend of ours made stickers with Max on it. Um, Actually, it was during last year's Pelican Hub, which is coming up. Yeah. So which reminds me, if if y'all have a Pelican Hub near you, now's the time to sign up. You've got till what 3 more weeks now, I think, to sign up for the Pelican Hub. Hi, how are you doing? You sure you know? You sure you know? Oh my goodness. I don't know what to do here. I'm being held hostage by a cat because I'm shocked she should have jumped down about 5 minutes ago. Yes, I know. This is the pen and cat episode. Yeah. Cats can always sense when you're trying to work. Well, this is what we're going to work on today. If the 580 byte for comparison, if Seiko ever lets me work, but maybe we don't need to work today. It is Friday after all. Yes, what do you want? I don't have any treats. The treats are over there, I think. Yeah. Okay. What's everyone else doing since I'm not working? Let's see if I don't hold her. If she just stays there, if she tries to jump. She tries to jump up. We're done. But she's quite shy. But we've had her now for what have we had? 5 years? 5, 6 years? Can you sense that I'm trying to work? I'm really not trying to work though. I don't mean to burst your bubble. Okay. And she it's not the most adorable little paw. Like one has got brown on it, the other one doesn't. It's the most adorable thing ever. All right. What is cooking here? Are you guys? Why don't you sit down? Why don't you sit down? This is very nice. This is very unusual, little kitty. There's a tail. While you're messing around, little kitty. I'm going to try to find a tray. You got your hands on the wild barn kitten today after 4 months of feeding. All right. Oh. Yes. I I don't know what to do here. This is so unusual. All right. Everybody remember my story on this pen? I don't want to tell it over again if y'all heard it. If you haven't heard the story, let me know and I'll tell it to you. Yeah, it was my and there she goes. That was fun. That was fun. Here's, thank you for leaving a little bit of yourself. All right, so this is an exceptionally scarce. I don't know what the correct words for it. Hans would have an opinion, I'm sure. How you define this pen? It's yes, yeah. The woman who was holding multiple pens in her hands and underpricing them. Yes, she wanted to sell this and 4 other pens for $20. I told her right away, and at the time I was thinking, you know what, this is cool, but I got to help this woman out because she's going to get fleeced. I said, what you need to do, ma'am, is take that listing down right now. Don't wait. I'll wait for you to tell you why, but take that listing down. Do it right now. The other pens were nothing special. Esterbrook and some 3rd-tier pens. But this is a Waterman 58. It's the largest size lever filler Waterman ever made. Long story short, she was very appreciative of me helping her out. So she sold the pen to me. Now the problem we have is the pen was, it looked like it was filled with India ink. Normally under these circumstances, I would not try to open this. Because it really serves no purpose. It's unlikely I would ever use it. So yeah, underpricing is a kind of an understatement. All right. So yeah, this is I mean, it's not without flaws for sure. It has, unfortunately, I don't understand why people would do this. You can kind of see the remnants of a name, and then they did that to it. Um, it's hard to say what that name was, but so yeah, today I get to repair one of my own pens. So the dilemma here is knowing that there's India ink inside. And I want to clean that out. There's a couple ways to do it. Now, what you're going to end up doing is you're going to have to knock out the nib and feed to make sure that there's no India ink in the channel. But if there's India ink in there, it's going to be put extra stress on the unit, on the section, when you try to hammer it out. So that means you have to do one of two things. I mean, it means you have to soak it. Try to flush out some of what might be in there, so it's, you know, because that stuff acts like cement sometimes. But it's hard rubber, so I don't necessarily want to put it in the ultrasonic because I don't want this to discolor, although it's pretty black, as they usually are. So it might not discolor. But the ultrasonic might not do anything to the India ink, which means you got to put it in the Dr. G's, which does a pretty good job of it. But then you run the risk of sometimes that gives a little bit more of a matte appearance. But maybe since there's no oxidation or minimal, it won't do that. And there's also, if we look at it, bite marks. There's marks all over this section. Now that's removable, excuse me, with some heat. But like everything else, you got to be careful because toward the back half of this, it's okay. But it's a little bit less it's a little more open at the front. The sack is in one piece. I really want to see if we can get it out without breaking it. No, no such luck. Sometimes these are, I think sometimes these are marked. Nope. So before I even try to operate this lever, I'm just going to make sure there's nothing left in here. There's a lever box for this guy. Would be expensive. So there we have it. Thankfully, it was all hard, and this is why. I mean, this stuff is really, I'm pressing pretty hard on this without breaking it. It still has a little bit of resiliency to it. What I think I'm going to do. I almost need a third one of these cut off way further back for something this size. Let's try this first. No, that didn't work. Let's try the Dr. G's here. You can kind of tell if it's ink or if it's, the solution is fairly brown right now. But when I take it out and if I put it against the edge of the plastic, you can see it's more black. Not big enough. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to drop that in there. I'm going to check the time, 1:42. While we're waiting for that, I'm just going to try to. I quite like the color of this pen, the way it sits, so I don't really want to. Drop it in the solution. But I can get quite a bit out. Now there are no vent holes in here, so maybe instead of wasting my time with this nonsense. Uh, I need a container to rest it in. That'll work. I'm going to use some fresh stuff here so that we. And we'll just add it back in. While we're waiting for that, let me see if I can find my sacks here. Oh, this is as big as I got. It's a 22. That'll work. All right. Let's see. Just shy of 5 minutes here in the solution. You see the black that's coming out? That's a good sign. So we're just going to try real gentle taps. And so this is why I wanted to take this apart. The feed is so long. It is literally, it's sitting proud of the hole. It is literally standing. And here is, that's why we had to get this open. That's going to go back in there because that's disgusting. I mean, it's, makes me wonder how much of that crap is in there. I mean, you. So yeah, this is a reasonable amount of work. Now, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, it is a manifold nib. Why do I say fortunate? Because if it weren't a manifold nib, it would be thinner. And there's always a chance over the last 100 years that it would have succumbed at some point to a floor, jammed inside the inner cap. I mean, any number of things could have happened. So now it's getting a little bit, it's hard to tell, but it's a lot less dark. I wonder. It is big enough that it does fit my trumpet mouthpiece brush. What I should do is once we get this done, I should email the woman and tell her it's restored. You might get a kick out of that. It's getting pretty clean now. First pass after the cleaner it is, the easier it's going to be to slide everything back together. This is kind of a real treat because I rarely do this. Almost never restore my own things. Been out chatting, almost time to go home. Yeah, great. Okay. We'll let that feed soak for just a little bit more. Well, let's polish this nib up, shall we? I mean, it's bigger than it's almost, it's bigger than the first digit of my thumb. Hi, Jason. How are you? Coming in for all the fun today. And for me, I do mean fun. I have to watch the replay. Well, we have successfully disassembled, for the most part, a Waterman 58. I'm repairing my own pen for the day. We reassembled the PFMs, the 9 of them from yesterday, sealed them up with section sealant. I inked up pen I'd been saving since last year. A Lamy Dialogue CC in blue with rose gold trim. I was going to wait until we got the new company off the ground, but I've kind of had this pen for almost a year. I mean, 8 months now. Oh no. Hang tight, folks. It's hairball time at the cat ranch. You all right there, little girl? Getting closer to a target launch date. Yeah. So, if you do listen to the Brian rant, if you go back and rewatch it, I won't say I've given up on Braintree for payment processing, but they honked me off a little bit today, and in less than 2 hours, I was able to set up Stripe and Link for payment processing, and it's I'm good to go for testing orders. Probably start this weekend, and then there's a few, actually a couple of folks in the chat. I don't know if they're all here today, but that have volunteered to do some testing to get the to get a couple of things. So look at that. You remember getting notices about Braintree having issues at work? I the only reason I am trying so hard is that their rate is so good. Nobody else offers a rate as low as they have. If it was the same as everybody else, I would just say, the heck with you. I don't need you. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use, this is almost dead anyway. I'm going to use this to wipe off. But, yeah, and so I've got PayPal set up. I'm not 100% certain, but because I'm having not second thoughts, but I remember, yeah, they are a PayPal company, right? Remember seeing that the PayPal integration was a much higher percentage. And there's basically no fraud tools at all. And I need that. You need that in e-commerce. You can't just fly by the seat of your pants. You got to, have take some responsibility there. I'll have to go back and look through the documentation again. But Stripe has some really pretty cool features. And the rate's not terrible. The interface is also, maybe 30 years newer than whatever it is that Braintree's trying to push out at you. All right, we're getting somewhere. Throw that away. So yeah, we're ready to. I mean, because I have apps that I'm trying to integrate, but I really can't do anything with them until I really have I'm able to create an invoice and sell something, and so I'm sitting here waiting. But I'm now up to a total of 3 phone numbers that they have listed, that while they do ring and you do get a message of sorts, you don't get anywhere because it hangs up on you. Actually, that may not be 100% true, because I think there's one of them that just plain doesn't work. And that's the one that's listed in the actual Braintree control panel, the dashboard. It boggles. I'm always very respectful to customer service people on the phone, because I know it's, they're just an average everyday Joe. They didn't write the code. They're not the boss. So I try not to go off on them, because it's not going to get you anywhere, right? But I'm sitting here today thinking that there's got to be 100, maybe not 100, but I know there's multiple numbers to get a hold of PayPal if you want to call PayPal. Multiple. But you want to get in touch with PayPal for, an enterprise issue, for your website, not going to happen. Yeah, because they're offering 2.39%, 2.35%. A little bit of common decency though would go a long way. Don't put a phone number up that doesn't work. Check your own damn website. If I'm doing multiple millions of dollars a year with you, give me a phone number to call. Don't make me fill out an online form and then give me an automated reply back that says, we'll get back to you within 72 hours. I mean, 72 hours. How many people work there? I think what they're going to find, though, is that there is competition. Seiko, what are you doing? Come on. Oh, oh. There is competition, and, I'm just going to go elsewhere. Although what I probably will do, because shift 4, okay, I'll look into that. I don't know if that's an option for me or not. I mean, there's a ton of options for me. I just want something that's going to work. My concern with, and you're a good person for this one, because I know you're in the loop, so to speak. My concern with Stripe was I had heard that if you're the victim of carding attacks, that some customers have been shut off because it counts as like a percentage of, you know, fraudulent transactions or whatever. Now they sure make it look like their radar, what they call their radar, um, fraud protection is all that in a bag of chips. I mean, it sounds good on paper. Something like 91% of the transactions that they get, they've essentially already identified a you know, that credit card. What? What? You feel better now? Yeah, I know. Who's got very large clients? Stripe? I know Stripe does. All right. So I'm just gonna pour. This has been. Oh, shift 4. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna look into them. You know, and so what I've heard people do is they actually they set up backup processors. So in the event that the preferred processor gives you a problem, cuts you off, or heaven forbid does, you know, who knows what, you just switch over to somebody else. You know, Braintree's not, you know, charging me a monthly fee, so, you know, if they ever get their act together and contact me, because, you know, yesterday they told me it was 30 to 45 days to possibly approve my application. You know, okay. All right. So let's see. 15. This has been a half an hour now. Look how black that is. Oh my God. Okay. Well, that's good. See, that's a brown instead of a black. All right. Now, while I know I've got these extended long guys here, I'm just going to use my hemostats for now, kind of get all the way down to the bottom. I don't want to waste my hemostat on, or my extra long ones on this. Although I know a guy, so, you know. So yeah, I'm thinking I will have multiple processors just in case Stripe does give me troubles. But I mean, I've used them as a customer. My web hosting company uses them. You know, I like the ability to wallet the credit card. All right, I think we're getting somewhere. I'm going to close this up so we don't spill it. Let's do this though. We'll reassemble this, and then once we do that, we can I'm just double checking here. No, apparently yeah, shift 4 is not an option for me. A lot of methods I've never heard of. All right. This is wonderfully clean. Boy, this thing goes, look how easy this goes in. Now, before the feed actually was, I'm going to actually back this off a little bit. The feed was sticking almost flush, is almost flush with the back. So even, yeah, that's about close. So since it is easy to get on most of the way, the best thing to do here I want to try to find, in case trying to get these little bumps out doesn't work out, I want to get the nicest, and there I hate to say it, but there is almost isn't a nice. So that's about where it was. It was just a little bit over. We get sorry, I got a little glare there. Min USA just above. That's a this is a size 22 sack. McEnthusiast, how are you? Look how small that looks. This is actually going to be a challenge to get this on. I don't have anything bigger than a 22. So funny, true story. So this morning, just before the stream, I made a trip over to my little warehouse to drop off my latest shipment of Midori and Iroful and Maryaman and some Apica that I got yesterday. and I had a little container, a parts storage unit that I had kind of consolidated some things in there, like some things in there that I wouldn't put on the website, but they were good to have in the store, like um, odd Schaefer refills for roller balls and ballpoints that no longer exist. And I don't want to put them on the website because um, I can't guarantee how long they're going to last. But if people would come in the store and they would need one, I would say, here, listen, I tell you what, I'll give you two for the price of one, and that way, if one goes out, you got another one. But they don't make them anymore. I've got Omos refills, and I've got some weird stuff. I would never put them on the website because you're going to get somebody who says, well, it didn't, it didn't last. So I got all that stuff in there. I'm looking through. Is there anything in here at all that I need to keep? And there's one drawer that actually had some Lamy parts in it. Well, it didn't parts. It had a Lamy front section for a fountain pen. Like, I'm just going to keep that here. I'm going to put it with, I don't know, the rest of my Lamy parts is probably the most sensible thing to do. And I look on the bag, and I don't know when this was written. I mean, I could have had this part. I doubt I had this part very long, but I mean, it's at least a year old. There's the price of the part, and I forget what the price of that front section is. It's not cheap. And then it says Lamy 2000 clutch ring, $13. So I was dumbfounded. So when you mentioned 15, I was thinking you were nuts, but apparently I must have paid. I don't make much on the parts. I must have paid essentially that. So anyway. All right. You know what? Let's. I'm always nervous to do this. But hard rubber is fairly resilient. What clutch ring goes around comes around. One clutch ring at a time. And you'll be happy to know, and I'm sure those that have been hanging in here for the last 2 hours are sick and tired of hearing me talk about it. But long story short, I do believe I've got some payment processing set up. So if not this weekend, early next week, you'll get a link. You'll get a preview link if you want to pick that up. If there's anything else that you need, you'll be one of the first. Yeah, it's been just unnecessary drama, right? I mean, it shouldn't be. I'm not applying for security clearance at NASA. So the same goes true for anybody else in the chat. Anybody else that's that's hanging out here. And I know there's a couple of them. I know I've got a Twisby set aside. If you don't mind, essentially testing. Yeah, I know. Don't mind essentially testing an untested site. You'll find everything out before everybody else. You just have to promise me that you're not going to tell anybody the name of the company or any of that stuff, the web address. But if I've got what you're looking for, whether it be repair supplies or whatnot, it would help me out greatly. That and the fact that pen repair parts, yeah, absolutely, yeah. I just put Sax and J bars up yesterday. And then I realized at the end I didn't have everything, so I still got a little more work to do. So if anybody's interested and you want a preview and you don't mind helping me out, and you can promise me you're not going to tell anybody, just email me at this address. Tell me what you're looking for. If I have it, I'm happy to, if you want to be a guinea pig, I'm happy to sell something to you. It might take me longer than normal to get it out. I mean, I'm probably not going to get it out the next day, but I very well might. I don't know. I have some new processes I have to try. So, Indy, if you're looking for Sax or something, just shoot me an email. Sax and Jayburn, yeah, you're good. Yeah, shoot me an email. My hope is it should be. I'm not planning on going anywhere this weekend. There's no art sale. There's no antique show. There's nothing going on, other than maybe a little R&R. So I'm hoping to get a lot of work done. We're doing some videos tomorrow. Other sort of stuff, great. Yeah, shoot me an email. I mean, as long as I have something for you, I'll let you in. All right, so we're getting somewhere here. This is turning out nice. You can see it's not quite as bad. Yeah, I mean, and if there's a vintage pen up there and somebody, and you want to get it, I mean, all that stuff's for sale. So you can jump the line. The only limitation, it's not really a limitation, I guess, is that, and I don't know what the limitation is. I have to find out. Is that the website has a preview code. It's fully functioning, but it's not. There's a splash page up. If you have the preview code, you can view the website. If you don't, you can't. And jumping the line is the only way you can jump anymore. And I know there was a time limitation on how long you can be on the site before it asks you to do the preview code again, which it doesn't change. So once you have it, you have it. But if you're trying to check out and then all of a sudden I don't know what's going to happen if you try to check out and your session expires. When you haven't, I mean, maybe it's just as simple as you go back in, and it should be as simple as you go back in and you're still there. I don't know. I'm just being real cautious on this, but just a little bit of heat, not really rotating it much. and you can see it slowly, just the way the light reflects off of essentially the divot as it pops back out. I dunk it in water if I think it's getting a little too hot, because I definitely don't want to screw this one up. I know. Little kitty. Yeah, I know. Starting to look good. I mean, it's an old pen, so now see, now the problem is now is like, well, I've got this line here, which maybe I can micro mesh off. Or do I rotate it into section and knock it out and put it in a different spot in the section? Much better. Much, much better. You can see there's a little bit of nonsense going on there, but it's difficult to get it here because this is a little bit thinner and you risk losing this shape. Let's see. We're just going to try a little. I mostly just want to get this little kind of this bump now here out. And it might not take much. I guess if I'm doing this for myself, I kind of want it done. want to do it too hard. I just want enough to kind of smooth it out. And sometimes you can, it doesn't have to be completely gone on the, like on the 1500 grit. Because the subsequent passes will kind of smooth it in. So you can still see it there. But I'll go through, you know, now I got the 1800 now. You know, and I don't mind a little wabi-sabi. But when you got a big, beautiful nib like this, we can really smooth it out. And it's really looking good now. The Esterberg highlight you create is very helpful. Those on any topic. Oh, okay. Yeah. I very rarely have like a cohesive thought. So there's probably not a whole lot of that kind of thing. But if I ever do something like that and y'all think I should ought to do a highlight, remind me and I'll do it. If I don't think of it. All right, so here's what we got now. We just did 20, what is this? 2400? 2400 very lightly. And you can kind of still see it, but it's really not, it's not an issue. You know, there'll be a couple little bumps in here, but we've really smoothed it out. What is this pen tray made of? This is like an old school slaughter tray. I don't know who actually made these. Oh, this one's actually a Parker tray, believe it or not. Yeah, so Parker would sell I think I've got some that are Waterman, but yeah, what was these? These are barrel lac diamondite ballpoint pencil. I suppose I could look up this part. Yeah, so Parker would send parts in these things. You can find them all the time. If you look at pen shows, it's not uncommon to see them. I hate to say it, but I threw out hundreds of these when I moved in December. There was just no room for them. You know, what are you going to do with them? I hated to do it because I love them for this purpose. They actually will clean out quite well. So I've got like some, you know, some ink stains and stuff in there. You put a little, you know, OxyClean, a little bleach in there, and let it sit and rinse it out. And it's kind of like a soft kind of felt with plastic on the back. They'll clean up nice and clean. You know, they'll be gray. Of course, you know, you can't bleach them white. Well, I mean, I haven't tried, but you can clean them. But yeah, I got rid of, I mean, there was not enough room in the garbage can for all the ones I needed to get rid of. Boy, this is going to look good. This is really going to look good. And it's way easier to do this now than anytime later. Because it just gets fiddly with the sack on. And I'm on 3600 now. And so I'm going to really do the whole section just to kind of smooth and feather it in. I can't believe I'm going to have to wait till Monday to ink up this pen. Well, I got that dialogue to play with, I guess. So the funny thing is I accidentally shifted the nib and feed inside the section. I I can't tell where that mark is anymore. Yeah, there are actually different variations of these trays too. Um, you know, the real nice ones have the cardboard covers on them. Those were designed for. They're a little bit nicer. They weren't like a Parker Waterman thing. Um, those like were made for retailers. But there are different variations on, you know, where these ridges are. So I'm at 6,000 now. I'll stop at 8 because there's no way to really get the rest of the pen to that same level of gloss without really doing some damage to it because it's just chased. Could probably stop at 6, but funny to see how pen design hasn't changed much over the years, or maybe it has, but I don't see a ton of difference. Yeah, yeah. This is definitely the economy version, right? The really fun ones are the wood tray with the velvet that you'll find for early Parker or Schaefer or Aiken Lambert or Conklin or you know whatever. So there was actually a little mark on the back of the section, but it was really close toward um, the lip of the section so that I was able to move it back. But you can't see that little scratch in here anymore. It's a really kind of a hard spot to get that scratch out, but it's on the back now. No one's ever going to see it. So if y'all saw it at the beginning, here's where we're at now. So there were a bunch of marks up here. You can kind of see remnants of them. They're fairly deep, so. And there's that little scratch right at the top. I don't really care. It's on the back of the feet. I don't care. This part, though, that looks good. That looks so much better. I mean, we weren't sure. I wasn't sure where the best place to line the nib up was because there was marks all over the place. But I'm good with that. That's, you know, there's a little bit of stuff on there that's, you know, a little wabi-sabi. That's just fine. That's just fine with me. Let's put the sack on it. We'll clean up get back to cleaning out the inside of the cap, and then this guy will be ready to test. Well, reassemble as the first nervous step, right? Now, in theory, we could also try to apply heat to this section here of the barrel. My concern is it's fairly, I mean, it's not thin by any stretch of the imagination, but if I had a little bit finer diverter, is that the right word? On my heat gun, to focus the heat. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I can't do that. Brian. Maybe I can, I don't know. I didn't even measure it. I'm guessing though. I'm gonna make a wild assumption here. So that's the same length. So yeah, we're good. So where my thumb is, straighten this out. Roughly how much where the end of the sack is in the barrel. So I got plenty of room. Like the sack is not even long enough. But it didn't even need to cut it. Didn't try. Wasn't even thinking. You know, this is a. 449. You know, I might try. I wonder if I should try heating that barrel up. I wonder what would happen. The problem is if we look at this closely, is there is the Waterman imprint. There's this mess. Heat needs to only go here. If it gets here and it gets too hot, what's going to happen is this, the letters here will invert. So the deepest part of the P in patented pops out now. I mean, I would rather have this imprint on here than all this scratched out nonsense. I just can't make out what this imprint would have been. I'm going to do this very briefly, and if I don't get immediate results, immediate positive results, we're going to stop. I'm really not certain if it's getting better or not, or I'm just imagining things. What we would expect to see is that to be more legible. Hans, how are you? You are coming in at a really interesting moment. We got a little project going on here. I am trying to see if we can make a better mess of this. I'm still waiting for pictures, by the way, buddy. Well, my concern here, Hans, is you see I've got this taped up. This is the actual imprint. It's so close to this mess that I don't want it to get hot and for the imprint to pop. I want this to pop, but not this. So I've covered it up with a double layer of tape. I'm thinking I'm just checking it I'm only allowing just a little bit of time in the heat gun. Just enough for it to get warm, and then hopefully it will spring out. I've also got chasing. Yeah, I need something smaller. I'm literally, if this is my gun, I'm doing this. And then pulling it out. My trick is going to be if I can start to actually recognize the imprint underneath. Although maybe we don't want to know what's under there. Maybe it's something really awful. I'm going to turn this off for now. Yeah, I mean, Maybe it's a terrible name though. Maybe it's a name we don't want to have on a pen. You know, I'm gonna go on a limb and say it might be a little better than it was before. I should have probably taken a picture of it. Yeah, I can think of a few I wouldn't want either. I mean, especially on something as big as a 58. I mean, you don't know. I mean, I don't think it's the case because we have an idea who the person was, but had the secrets of the universe printed on there. Are you done with the show now, Hans? Are you must be, I guess it's 6 o'clock there, isn't it? Going to dinner? Are you meeting up with your brother? 42, yeah, 42. All right, real quick, we're gonna. Yeah, my nozzle is about that. So whatever that is that an inch? Unless it arrives in less than an hour. Okay, yeah. Well, I always plan for worse, right? So whatever that is, about an inch. That's but yeah, aluminum foil is a good idea too. I don't want to do any more with. I want to say this is a little better. It doesn't look as bad. I can't. I can almost make out. Maybe it says Mister something, and this might be a W here. This might be a Y, Mr. Ryan. I'll have to find out what his name was. Mr. Winston Churchill. Wouldn't that be something, huh? Nah, we can't have that on a pen. Scratch that out. Look at a directory of serial killers. It looks like there's a Y or something. There's a lower, what do they call it? A lower descender that they didn't quite get. Yeah, yeah. I don't know what this gentleman did for his life, but I'm going to contact the previous owner. Just for fun. They were nice people, so still got a lot of cleaning in that cap to do. Your budget's done? While you're waiting for your brother, send me a picture I asked for. Can't leave me hanging in the hanging like that. Oh, this thing, there's a lot of cleaning to do. I guess maybe I mean, I think it did a good job with the Dr. G's, but I think there's a lot more. That could be cleaned out of here. Although it's getting lighter and lighter every time. I mean, obviously. Reception is horrible there. Flexible nibs. It's right up your alley, that's for sure. All right, we're going to leave this just the way it is for now. I got to figure out what we're going to do about this cap band issue here. This could be India ink on here. It could be any of a number of things since there was so much India ink on this pen. It does look like it is built up on the surface. So we'll try a little micro gloss on that next week. This guy's coming along. That nib looks so much nicer. That barrel's not bad. Maybe we'll try the maybe next week we'll try Hansa's suggestion. We'll make a tighter funnel with some foil. I think I've got some here. And we'll see if we can do a little more work on that. If not, I'm really cool with where it's at. You know, I mean, it was just so getting the India ink out of the nib and feed was maybe if I turn this light off here. It's a manifold, but boy, is it it's beefy. It's gonna write. I think it's gonna write wet. That's the hope anyway. Oh my goodness. Desk sets. We'll clean this up. This should be able to come off. It's on there pretty tight. Actually, you know what? Before we leave, let's just see. Because we know how well this Dr. G's just eats through. India ink. I'm getting a little bit of it, but it would be easier if I used just some clean stuff instead of this recycled mess. But this should still work. If you look at it under a loop, it's built up quite thick. I'm getting a little bit of it off. we'll continue next week. We'll do that. All right. Well, the time flies when you're having fun, huh? Here it is. It's time for dinner already. 5:11. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. I got my new pen to ink to play with. We'll continue working on this. Just it's little pet project. We can at least. I want to say that's a little nicer. I mean, it's pretty ugly. But before we assemble it, we should see if we can. If I'm gonna continue down that path, I don't want to put it back together until it's done. So. But that's kind of fun. I don't hardly ever repair my own pens, so there you have it. We got PFMs done. We got PFMs that didn't open. We got a Lamy Dialogue CC. Have a good weekend, Jason. Thank you. You too. And a fun work on a 58. That one way or another we'll reassemble next week. We'll get it done. And we'll go from there. So Hans, have a good rest of your stay in DC. Say hi to your brother for me. Have fun. If you're going, I don't think you're going back to the show anymore, but if you do, good luck. Thanks for looking for things for me. And the rest of you have a fantastic weekend. I hope it's going to be as nice for you guys as it is, I think, for here. More show tomorrow. Okay. Oh, on your seminar. That's right. That's right. Hope you can find a speedline filling unit for me. If you can't, no big deal. But the rest of you have fun wherever you're at. Like I mentioned briefly earlier before, if y'all are interested, no luck so far. Okay, that's fine. No big deal. I can email a few people. So, we should be doing some transactions next week. So if any of y'all are interested in anything, shoot me an email, Pensax, whatever, and I'll put you on the list of people who get first access to the new site. When we're up and running, I'll probably doing some test transactions tomorrow and Sunday of my own. And when I deem it to be close to beta ready, I'll let y'all know. I know Plainwater's got a pen on reserve, and the Pen Enthusiast has got a clutch ring. Montblanc desk sets for you.com. Get it right. Montblanc desk sets for you. So anyway, everybody enjoy your evening, your weekend. Sorry, yeah. Enjoy your weekend. Be kind, be well, and we'll catch y'all on Monday. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye now.